Mr. De Foy, it's lovely to meet you. Thank you very much for joining us here today. And welcome to our Everest Cargo Connections channel.
Thank you for having me.
Brilliant. Mr. De Foy, today we're hoping to talk to you about El Habeeb and his and your plans for him coming into Bahrain.
Yes, no, definitely. I will look forward to that.
Brilliant. What are your when is he expected to travel into Bahrain, and what are your plans for him for the rest of the season?
Yes, he will be coming to Bahrain in November to run the Bahrain International Trophy, and that's probably the main race he will be riding over there.
Mm-hmm.
After we'll be traveling through the Middle East over the winter.
Oh, fantastic. Are there any specific races that you've chalked out for him to be traveling, to be racing in, like Saudi, Qatar, or would he go straight to Dubai?
He'll probably go to Saudi and to Dubai afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
There's a race for him in Saudi beforehand, so we probably target that as well.
Fantastic. And with El Habeeb, which race in this season in Europe do you think was his best run? And what were your sort of tactical learnings from that for his training?
He ran a very good race in the St. Ledger back in September in Lancaster, where he finished sixth, but he was only beaten 4.5 lengths, finishing his race very strongly. So he showed that day that he was staying the trip, the 2,800 meters. So we just put him in the listed race at Ascot a couple of weeks ago over the same trip, and we rode him a bit more positively. And yes, he kept on well to win that race. And then we know we have a nice staying horse for the future.
That sounds fantastic. And do you expect to have any other horses from your stable coming down to the region during the season?
Yes, we might have. There's no final plan made yet. I will have to discuss it with the owner. But obviously, yes, you have some very attractive racing, and we probably most probably bring one or two other horses as well.
Well, that sounds great. What are your from when you were deciding or when you were selecting El Habeeb, and probably these other horses as well that you decide to bring to the region? Is there anything specific that you look at in terms of pedigree or in terms of the way they perform to decide that yes, these horses will also deliver in the Middle East region?
Yes, we try to have horses who are very good mentally, really laid back, and it always helps when you have a horse who is very good in his head to travel. You have the flight, and they have to adapt very quickly to a new environment. You want horses to perform on fast ground and can run off a strong pace. Generally, races are run at a decent pace, and yes, with horses finishing the race as well. So we try to have horses with we can travel at strong pace and short on a foot. So fast ground, turn a foot, and good mentally.
Absolutely. What have you ever had any issues with traveling horses or concerns with traveling horses that you try to overcome when you choose the horses?
Yes, I mean we had mostly with fillies. We just had some fillies who didn't take their trip even to France very well. So we try to find the best way to go, but generally the routes are very smooth and very well organized, and we generally travel very well. We take extra care, and the shipping companies are taking very good care of the horses, so it generally goes very well. Obviously, you want horses, but not too anxious or nervous about things.
Makes perfect sense. And what about your plans for El Habib specifically after he comes back from the Middle East region? Is there any race that you think he would be aimed at, or would you wait till the season is over and see how he performs before deciding where to go next?
We have a couple of races that we've mapped out for him the next spring and summer in England and in Europe. I think we try to make him a cup horse and to be competitive in the main staying races. So we could start at Chester and go from there. But yes, there's a nice program for them staying 4-year-olds. Just need them to winter well, get stronger, and hopefully improve a bit. And so we could have an exciting horse for next season.
True. He is a very exciting horse. What could you tell us about a little bit about yourself? Where were you born? Where did you grow up? And how did you get interested in the King of Sports? Sport of Kings.
So yes, I grew up in Belgium. I'm born in Belgium, where racing is pretty poor, but my mother was a jockey for 25, 30 years. So I was in the weighing room since I was like 3 months old. A bit after I was 18, I moved to Chantilly with the main training center in France. And from there on, I started traveling. I went to Ireland, I went to America, and came back to Newmarket and worked 5 years as assistant to James Fanshawe. And kind of fell in love with English racing. I decided to start training here. But racing has been in my blood since I was a couple of days old.
So you started very early.
Oh yes, I'm born in it, and it was very clear from the age of 10 that I wanted probably to train. So I've ridden as an amateur rider, as a jockey as well, but I was probably not very, I wasn't very good, and I was too heavy, so it was a bad combination.
That's true. That's true. A heavy jockey might not be the right right sort of image that we want to put on.
No, exactly.
It might not be good for the horse either. So El Habib, could you tell us a little bit about the owner and the kind of relationship that you have with the owner? Tell us more.
Yes, totally. Yes, Thos was in training with another trainer, and yes, we met up with Khalid, and he decided to move the horse to mine. It was a very smooth transition. We decided to drop him. Yes, he just had the run in the Derby. We decided to fresh him up and try to win a maiden. Things didn't go exactly to plan at Chester when he ran on his first start for us. He finished second. I thought he would win that day, but he showed a good performance. He improved from that run, and we learned a lot more about him. I wanted to give him a confidence boost before going to the St. Ledger. So we just give him a run at Wolverhampton, which is quite a small, tight track. It wasn't ideal for him. He had to make the run. It was a 4-runner race, but he kept on well all the way to the line. And the jockey came back and said he's very straightforward. It wasn't ideal for him, but he's a lovely horse and he will improve going further. So we ran in the Ledger. And his run in the Ledger was good. We had a wide draw and we had to ride him very patiently. The horse got a bit lost when the race developed, but finished his race very well. And was an eye catcher hitting the line. So we had a horse who was staying the 2,800 meters, mile 6 well. So we went to Ascot and we rode him more positively, and he showed out of his.
No, he's a surprising horse, and hopefully he'll continue to improve over the next few years.
Yes, exactly. No, yes, finger crossed he does. Yes, definitely.
True. And could you tell us a little bit about what was your, you know, best career win so far, and what's a race that you would like to win over the next few years in your career, over the next few years, whether that's locally or internationally?
But yes, I mean, locally, obviously in England, we want is to win the classics, which are the 2000 Guinness, the Derby, and the Ledger, the Oaks. That like they are the obvious races you want to have winners in. You want to have winners at Royal Ascot, and things like that. We won the Victoria Cup this year back in May at Ascot, which is a big handicap in the calendar of English racing with a horse called
Hmm.
Va Fortino. Obviously, we want to have runners abroad and win races like the Arc de Triomphe and Breeders' Cup and things like that. But I only started training less than 2 years ago, and it will be one step at a time. El Habib's win in the listed race at Ascot was good. We had a listed winner yesterday in Deauville, so that was good as well. And they're exciting moments, but obviously you want to build up um, weeks after weeks and yes, grow and get competitive at the higher level.
Absolutely. There's a long way to go, and hopefully you know along the way you pick up trophies in the Middle East as well.
Definitely. Like you have some great racing there, and yes, everything is developing very quickly, and
Hmm.
yes, you have the series, and you have a few good challenges, and yes, big races with big prize money and very competitive. It's becoming more competitive, and it's becoming more and more international, which is great, and that's the kind of scene you want to have winners. And
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mr. De Foy. It was lovely talking to you, and we wish you all the best for El Habib in Bahrain, and hopefully we'll catch up again as you travel with him to Saudi, Dubai, and onwards.
thank you very much. That's my pleasure.